And welcome to Under Center with Kirk Cousins.
Cousins from under center, straight drop. It's another deep shot. Center of the field, caught it on the run. 20-15 10, touchdown.
And welcome back to Under Center with Kirk Cousins. And Kirk, we have a very special guest today. We like to call him one of us. When you're from Minneapolis or Edina, he's one of us no matter what travels he takes after he leaves the Twin City area. We're talking about longtime tennis pro Mardy Fish, who's adorned in his Vikings hat today as well. But Mardy, I'm going to turn back the clock very quickly. I know this is something you remember, but when you were, I believe, 3 years old, my longtime colleague, R.J. Fritz at WCCO, did a story, I believe, with your dad on top of the old tennis bubble at the Hyatt Regency Hotel. And there you were at the age of 3, I believe, hitting tennis balls over the net. And it became a big part of your bio that still exists on Wikipedia.
Isn't that funny? Yeah, I remember it too. They said I was 2. I was 3. I just turned 3 like a few days before. I think the place was called the Downtown Athletic Club. My father was a tennis teacher there, and they needed some content, obviously, pretty badly. And they got a young little kid who liked tennis for sure, but whose dad pushed him a little bit towards liking that sport. And here we are about 35 years later, still with the Vikings hat on, still talking about it.
Now, Mardy, talk about your Vikings fandom. How did that begin? And you didn't grow up your entire life. Your youth tennis career wasn't in Minnesota. So talk about kind of what it means to be a Vikings fan and for many years at a distance.
Man, so I was born in Edina. I spent the first 5 years or so there. And my dad got a teaching job. Again, he was a tennis teacher, still is, at a really nice club in a place called Vero Beach, Florida. So we moved there when I was younger, but I never left. The roots never left me. My father is still a huge Minnesota sports fan. I didn't go to college. I actually turned pro after my junior year of high school. So,
wow.
So I still root like crazy for the Gophers as well. And unfortunately, just recently, I was actually sad to hear that they cut the tennis program there, the men's tennis program. So that was a big bummer. And actually tried to reach out to the tennis coach there to see if I could help in any way. But yeah, so I've got it in my blood. I can't root for anything else. Some of my best work as a father is I've got a 6-year-old son who loves the Vikings as much as I do, which is, again, some of my best work as a dad.
Well, kudos to you for passing on the fandom to your son. That's outstanding. How about the game of tennis? Are your kids taking to that sport the same way you did from your dad?
Not quite as much. My son is the athletic one, certainly. I've got a 3-year-old daughter as well. She hasn't shown much potential in the sports industry quite yet, but
it's
we'll
still
see.
Early.
She's still very early, and she still grabs a golf club every once in a while. My son actually loves golf. He wants to play every day. And he's got a beautiful swing and
wow.
Again, he's 6. And so it's fun. I'm a lefty and he's a righty. So we've got some awesome pictures when he could barely stand, but he's got a plastic club. And I'm hitting balls on the range, actually in Windsor, where Kirk, in Vero Beach, and he's just sort of intently watching me swing, and then he'll take a swing. And we've got some great videos of that I'll keep forever.
Wow.
And hopefully give to NBC Sports or something when he's leaving the U.S. Open on the last day.
There you go. Now, as of late, you may be known more as a golfer than as a tennis player because you've played so much golf, played it at such a high level, and this past summer won the American Century Championship, which is a nationally televised golf tournament, and you kind of won it going away. So talk about that tournament, that experience. You had a few Vikings players out there, and Adam Thielen and Kyle Rudolph and a former Vikings quarterback, Case Keenum. They all do pretty well out there. But talk about hanging out with those Vikings guys out there over the summer, and I think it's become a tradition now. You see them every year.
The thing that I love about it, apart from just the actual golf and trying to win a golf tournament, I don't have anything competitive that I do anymore. So that's kind of it for me, those celebrity golf tournaments. And what's really fun for me is sort of meeting guys that your worlds would never collide. and becoming not only meeting them and feeling like, wow, these guys are really nice guys, but actually becoming good buddies with a lot of them. And I just this year, every year it seems like you get to meet those types of people. And this year, for me, it was this guy Canelo Alvarez. He's a boxer, but he just picked up the game of golf like maybe 10 or 12 months ago. And he shot like 83 in the last round of the tournament, which is incredible. And and I love combat sports. I'm a big UFC fan, boxing fan and stuff. So it was really cool for me to then, to meet him, to play a couple rounds with him, and then to sort of keep in touch. And that's no different. I met Adam for the first time, Thielen, for the first time out there before the tournament, and hit it off. He's obviously, as we all know, he's such an awesome dude. And then Rudolph as well. Kyle is as good as they get. His family comes out every year, his kids. So we bring families and stuff. You got to get out there, Kurt, one time. But
I am trying to get.
Yeah, but it's not only the Vikings guys too. Like Joe Mauer played last year. Larry Fitzgerald plays every year, and these are guys that are that I've Joe is probably my favorite baseball player ever. Just sort of growing up. I'm a huge Twins fan as well. So this postseason will be fun. And last year was one of the funnest years for me as a fan to watch them. So we actually got a really cool picture that I have of Joe, Larry, myself, and Adam, all guys from Minnesota, and took that picture out there in Tahoe. So it's pretty fun.
Well, Adam and Larry are my ins to get in that tournament. So hopefully next summer we can make it happen. That'd be a lot of fun. Rudy told me a story, and I want you to confirm it if it's true. He said several years ago you were up here, I believe, and he and Christian Ponder went over to a tennis court of some kind and were hitting with you. And they said, give us your all-out serve, like the best you can do. And they said that with multiple tries, they could not even get their racket on the ball. Not one time. Is that true?
Yeah. I mean, I remember hitting with them. I remember again, like Christian was fun to root for there in Minnesota as well. He's such a good dude. But yeah, we went out to Lifetime Fitness or some sort of club out there, indoor club. And, yeah, that's probably true. I mean, they haven't played a whole lot of tennis in their life. Yeah. And if you haven't played a whole lot of tennis, there's that box doesn't seem super big, the serve box to hit it in, but from my eyes, the way you're standing, if you're standing even a little bit left or a little bit right of where I'm used to, I can usually sneak one by you. So they were probably standing in the wrong spot, and I probably tried to hit them a few times with like a body serve or something like that too, just to be fun. But yeah, I gave it. I do it every once in a while. Kind of go out there with some friends and give them maybe a 135 or 140 and see how they like it.
Well, I have so much more respect for people like yourself who do something at such a high level after now myself playing in the NFL and seeing how competitive it is, how difficult it is at the top. The utmost respect for you and your journey. I've been telling people recently as I picked up tennis again, I really believe that there's a lot of crossover with quarterbacking. And I even think in these first 2 weeks of the season, some of the plays I've been able to make running around with my feet and throwing the ball after moving out of the pocket, I would directly say goes back to the fact that I've been playing a lot of tennis in the off season. It's been forcing me to move in new ways and use more of my agility. What are your thoughts on that? Am I crazy? Do you think it makes sense?
No, it definitely makes sense. And I've seen every play of the Vikings live in the last maybe 20 years straight. I've seen every play.
True fan.
So I've seen you, and I've seen you scramble previous to this year. And you weren't the fleetest of foot before. No. I'm telling you, I swear to you, and this is not because we're on right now. There were like 2 or 3 running plays that you made that you didn't make last year or the year before. I'm telling you, and it looked better and quicker than you did. So I don't think I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility at all. I used to use basketball, and I used to sort of knock on wood before I went every time, because it was a little nerve-wracking jumping up and having your people's feet underneath you when you're jumping. So that was really the only issue with it. But I used to use it for fitness. I played high school basketball strictly for fitness. I would just basically put me in there and I'll play defense as hard as I can, and I'll run around as hard as I can and just use it for fitness. I didn't use it for footwork or anything like that. But again, people use those athletic sports for different reasons. And if you've never been to you've been to a live tennis, like to see a live professional tennis?
And I need to. That's on the off-season.
Yeah. So one of the things that will blow you away is just the athleticism of some of these guys. You wouldn't think that they would. There's a great example, in my opinion, of a guy like Steph Curry and a guy like Novak Djokovic. There's two guys. They're almost identical in height. Steph may be a tiny bit taller than him, but they're both 6'2", 6'3". Obviously, both exceptional athletes. But you should see this Djokovic guy move around the court, slide around the court, how flexible he is. And you would say, to just the average sports fan, you'd go, who do you think is more athletic, Steph or Novak? And you just, you just sort of gravitate to the basketball guy. And obviously, Steph is an elite athlete, but man, these guys are just insane movers. The calmness of the way that Roger Federer moves around the court, how he doesn't get wrong-footed ever. His base is a little different, a little wider than most guys. So it's really, and then you can get some of these smaller guys like a Nishikori, who's from Japan, or a Diego Schwartzman, who's, much smaller, 5'6", 5'7". Man, they have to be incredible athletes and move and get everything back, because they're not going to be able to take advantage of the height and the serve and the sort of the weapon that you can develop with that.
All right. Thanks for your time, Marty. Always good talking with you.
My pleasure, guys.
Let's play a tennis match sometime.
Happy to do it.